in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions. Dropping by is John and Alyssa. Hi, guys. How are you?
Good.
Doing all right.
Good. Welcome. Where do you guys live?
We live in Rochester, Indiana. It's
Cool.
just south of South Bend.
Yeah. What brings you to Nashville?
We're actually on our way back from Gulf Shores, Alabama, and we knew you were in the studio today, so we thought if we could ask our question that God was leading us to ask this.
Wow. Very cool. Okay. So what's up?
My wife has a genetic disease called Huntington's disease, and it will essentially incapacitate her around retirement age for us. We've seen her mom and her grandma and both of her aunts go through the process, and so we're in a really good place thanks to your program. We're debt free, except for the house. We've saved $20,000 for our son's college already.
Wow.
We're where we need to be, but we're not putting the full 15% for retirement. We don't know what do we do for retirement. How much do we focus on that, knowing that we want to live like no one else, but we won't have that opportunity together most likely. So we just want to know what your opinion was on what we need to do to, should we just hammer it and just go through it and say, we're just going to do it, or should we?
What is your household income?
Just over 90,000.
Okay, that's good news.
Yeah.
What was it 5 years ago?
About the same. We're teachers, so
Okay.
we'll make this the rest of our life probably. So.
Okay. Cool. Well, good. Well, I think it would be a bad idea to do all one and not the other, whatever that is. In other words, if you save zero for retirement, that's going to leave you eating Alpo.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not a plan. And so we don't want to, and quote, enjoy the day, unquote. And knowing that, what you've got a fairly predictable outcome here, and you've got, some track record with family to verify it, really. It's not just a vague worry that it might be this way or might be that way. I'll give you an example. I've got a friend of mine that was diagnosed with MS a while back. Matter of fact, I have two friends that were diagnosed with MS. One of them is down and not doing well, and the other one's fully functional.
Right.
And has gone on for a decade with it, and it hasn't affected. So, that's a little different than your situation. Yours sounds like, I don't know anything about the disease. I'm not medical, but obviously, but I mean, I'm just listening to you. You're not, you've got it fairly clarified as to what the outcome looks like. So I'm going to do both in some way or another. If you have to cut back from 15 and you do 10, you still retire with dignity and you get to do some travel or something while you can, then yeah, that's fine. I may look at cutting some other areas so that I could still do those two things, the travel or the enjoyment, quote unquote, with money, and the others. But in other words, I might not eat out as much, or I might not buy that car or whatever that you could normally do in the math, but you're trying to say, no, we're going to enjoy this, we're going to enjoy that, and we want to be wise about retirement. So some kind of a balance in there, and maybe it's not just those two things you're choosing from. Maybe you back up and look at the whole budget and go, okay, well, because we're facing this, we're really not going to do that thing over there, that addition on, we're not going to put the pool in the backyard or whatever that thing is, right? Or I don't know what it is. We're not going to do that thing. Did I just hit it? Oh my gosh. But you see what I'm saying. You got this other thing laying over here that's maybe a third thing that you can get into. You've got these two things juxtapositions against each other, retirement or, quote, enjoy life while you can, unquote. And maybe there's a third thing or a fourth thing down in the budget that you can make some other choices on and still be able to do that. But there's no, I'm not legalistic about it. I came up with 15% because I ran the numbers on a huge slew of incomes on a huge slew of ages, and it works almost every time. For somebody, but obviously if you're 70 and you start saving for retirement, you start saving 15% and you save zero up until then, it's not going to work. But, or if you make $10,000 a year for your whole life, it's not going to work. So extreme situations, but there's no magic to the 15 versus 12 or 10 or 9. The point is do something substantial and given your diagnosis and your situation, balance it out. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I would just be crunching those numbers and watching for raises and looking for opportunities to pick up tutoring or something to be able to fund something else or do that. I always think of the guy that made me cry one day. He delivered pizzas for a whole year, just because he was a teacher and he could not figure out a way to fund his kid's college fund. And so he delivered pizzas for a whole year, took all that money, and it was a baby, and set the money aside. Boom, he was done. So he didn't go, okay, I can't fund college, I got to do this. And I'm not saying you need to go deliver pizzas, but my point is there's always another way to look at the thing and go, well, what else can we give up in order to hit this goal? Because those are both valid goals, and they're not necessarily competing head-to-head is what I'm trying to say. Okay. So I bless you with what you're facing.
Thank you.
And with what your courage to go forward with that. When did you get the diagnosis?
Go ahead.
Like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago.
Okay, so you've been living with this a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
It meant a lot to her to know, for it not to be.
I like to know things. I'm a
Oh,
planner.
yeah.
And she's a planner, and so that's kind of like we're looking at. John just needs enough for retirement to keep the air conditioning on and play video games. But that's
They may not have video games.
I don't know what they'll do in the future. Yeah, PlayStation 17.
They could be outlawed by then.
Yeah, but changing our family tree that's a big deal for us. That we wanted to do that for Tyson and be different and be able to do those things. But
And I think you can. You make enough money to be able to do that and to enjoy your life along the way. You're young enough that you've done really well to date. I mean, you've hit all the marks to date, so you're doing fine. You're going to be able to pull it off. But my point is, I want to set you free from any kind of quote unquote Dave Ramsey legalism on the 15% or you're going to hell.
Very
15% or you're going to hell. Right? No, it's just not that way. It's not that. And so you've got to you've used good common sense to this point, and have been very disciplined and have accomplished a lot of your goals. And I think you're going to hit these goals as well. I think you're going to be fine. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless.
Hey you guys, Rachel Cruz here. I hope you are enjoying the Dave Ramsey Show. And did you know that I have my very own YouTube channel? Yes, that's right. It's kind of better than the Dave Ramsey channel. Don't tell them I said that. I'm kidding. So subscribe, and there's lots of videos about life and money. So while you're at it, if you want to check out a video, then you can check out how to do a monthly budget. It's one of the best videos out there.